Hello everyone, welcome to Liberal Tarot. I'm Sherry, a blue dot in a red state utilizing Tarot to offer insight into these very interesting times we have going on here in the United States. So I'm really glad that you're here and welcome. The focus of today's reading is going to be the mystery trips that JD Vance has been taking to Montana. At the end, it was reported that at the end of June, and then I think it was the Tuesday right before the Wall Street Journal published its little description of the body, birthday letter or card that Trump had for Jeffrey Epstein. So that Tuesday before that was published, JD Vance took a trip to the Murdoch Ranch in Montana. And as I said, he did, again, it was the end of June. So I am curious as to why he is going to Montana. Is it either to persuade or dissuade the Murdochs from printing whatever it is or releasing whatever it is that they have on Trump? It's also being reported, the Wall Street Journal have they come out? It's being reported that they actually have more that they are willing to release. So, I don't think it's too much of a secret that Rupert Murdoch really does not like Trump. It seems like anytime he tries to distance himself from Trump, it just doesn't work. He's been kind of walking this fine line of, do we support him? Do we not? They kind of will put out a little nugget of truth out there, a little criticism of Trump, and then, Trump shits out whatever on the social media, and then they walk that back just a little bit. But this time they're not. They are staying the course. They are that was a pretty big thing to have for them to print, and I don't know that there's any coming back from that. Definitely not in Trump's eyes. And there's been no indication that Rupert Murdoch is wanting to walk that back at all. So I want to know about the trips to Montana from JD Vance. As always, these are for entertainment purposes only. Let's start with base reading into what's going on with JD going there to Montana. What is going on with JD Vance? I mean, specifically, yes, that is a whole separate reading to ask what is going on with JD Vance. I want to know specifically into going to Montana, to the Murdoch Ranch in Montana. What's going on with those visits? And as I said, they know there's been at least 2 that's been reported. So what's going on with that? Why is he going out there? Entertainment purposes only. Queen of Pentacles. I'm kind of wondering if this isn't the Wall Street Journal. Because this is going to be, this is like, the pentacles are those tangible things. And so I would definitely see a newspaper as like that tangible, thing, the news, the receipts. Okay. The challenge is, I love it whenever old Donald comes up here right in the middle. Excuse me. Hold on just a second. I like it whenever he comes up as the challenge. The challenge for the truth is Donald. Okay, the options. Okay, you saw me shuffle. I will definitely come back to this card, but right now I'm just going to read it as transformation. That's all this card means. So our options are, how are we going to transform this situation? What are we going to do? The World card. The Lovers, this is going to be those past, this is more Epstein stuff. I'm just going to leave. I don't like reading on the Epstein stuff. I really don't. I mean, it's like, it's worse than Stephen Miller because it's child sex trafficking, okay? So I don't like reading on it, and so I'm just going to leave it at that. Just Jeffrey Epstein, leave it at that. And then the potential here is decisions that we're going to make. When I get these 2 cards together, this is not boding well for Trump. This card only means transformation. When this card comes up, it doesn't necessarily mean death. And I always say, I have other cards in the deck that actually do mean death more so than this card. And that card is this card. the World card. The World card is one of like, you've achieved, you've done everything that you can do. This does not always mean, and let me rephrase, this does not always mean death. Okay, this just means achievement. Okay, if I'm doing a health reading, or I'm looking into somebody's health, if this card comes up, I'm going to be concerned. Okay, if this card comes up with this card, I'm going to be super concerned. Okay, so I'm getting the feeling like with those two cards there and then this, what are we going to do? It's almost like this feeling of, I don't think that JD Vance was there to dissuade the Wall Street Journal. Okay. I have consistently been getting in the cards that this, Peter Thiel is put JD Vance is wants JD Vance installed as president. And so if they can get Donald out of the way, then they can put, JD Vance in. Now that's a whole other reading. That's a whole other thing. No, I do. If JD Vance is president, it will be like for one hot minute. Okay. So that is a whole other ball of that I will read on for another day. Where it is right now, though, is that they are making plans and decisions. This is like action, taking action of what are we going to do when Don Old is no more. I almost get this feeling with this of, they know Trump's not in good health. And they also know, like, if he just kicks the bucket, like, it's almost like they're priming MAGA to follow JD Vance. That's the feeling I'm getting of, okay, well, let's prime that pump and kind of start moving the base that way to try to get JD Vance as much support as he can have when they make this move. They're not gonna, MAGA's not gonna follow JD Vance. So they're trying. Peter Thiel is trying to set it up to make JD Vance successful. They're using the Murdochs in order to achieve that. Okay, that's the feeling I'm getting with this. So, what else do I got here? Twice, persuade or dissuade. Let's see what just happens next. Okay, because that was kind of like, that's what they're doing. It is not to dissuade the Wall Street Journal. It's almost like, okay, we're just making sure we're all on the same page, right? And we're all good to go. It's that type of feeling, too, that I'm getting with this. So what happens next? Just a base reading into what happens next. Okay. They're charging forward. This is racing ahead. They have every intention of going forward with this plan. The challenge is going to be MAGA. Okay. The challenge is the emotions, and can they manipulate MAGA into following JD Vance? Victory, they hope there is, but notice, and I would say these two cards are very similar. Cards. This is what they hope for. This is what they're actually going to get. It's almost like you want, this is your battle victory that you want. This is your battle victory you got off Wish. Okay. That's the feeling I'm getting with that. Okay. Tarot does have a sense of humor. Okay. And karma is the foundation of this. This is also the Wheel of Fortune is actually the good luck card, but in the lower energy, it's going to be a karma card. So this entire administration of MAGA is never going to be read in the higher energy. They are definitely lower energy. So the victory that they want is going to be not quite, like, they may get a little bit of the victory. Like they'll succeed in getting Trump out. They may succeed in having JD Vance, as I said, one hot minute in there. But karma's a bitch. And and her dance card is getting full very quickly. And this is that rash behavior, not thinking things through, this is the shit hits the fan. I mean, it's not quite the Tower card. This is racing towards the Tower card. and once again, very quickly. So I think this whole thing just quickly kind of comes apart. What is this very quickly? Let me just see. And the reason I'm saying it comes apart is because of the rash behavior, karma, the victory that you wanted, but it's the versus the victory that you get. So what is this? Oh, that card just flipped out. Working towards something. Agreements, working towards something. And so what's very quickly? And very quickly, things that are hidden, action that's taken. This is like behind the scene. This is going to be behind the scenes action taken for like for the government. I would see this as, like agreement, like installing JD Vance. If Trump gets to the point where they can't prop him up because of his health, that's going to make this be a lot easier road for them. And so they're kind of like, it doesn't matter to them, how it happens. If you know, I did that, like it was the Trump health reading of like what takes him out first. Is it going to be his health, the Epstein files, or election fraud? What I'm feeling with all of this, because I said it's like all of the above. His health, Project 20. Okay, so I know that there's a lot of moving parts, and in these readings, I'm trying to like get these summaries and these nutshells. Like, so whenever I say Project 2025, whatever group of people are working in that group is putting, like, they're driving this. Okay, they're driving this, the Epstein file release. They're driving all of this stress to put on Trump. They know he's in bad health, and it's kind of like, well, I mean, they themselves are like, well, what's going to take him out first, the Epstein files or his health? And it's like both. Both are going to take him out. I think that the stress that he's under with these Epstein files is going to be, they will get to the point where they can no longer prop him up. And I think it was that reading I got that Congress was not going to impeach him. And honestly, it's because I don't think that there's a need to impeach him because of, I know with everything going on, there's no need to impeach him. What? And it's because of his health. Like, he has an episode that they 25th Amendment him. Okay. That's what it's like. That's where I'm feeling like there's talk of it. Everything that's happening. So like the Epstein files, the talk of impeachment, which we're going to start hearing. We will start hearing more and more about that. His behavior is going to get more and more erratic. We're going to start seeing more evidence of his health, and that this is just, it's all being driven by that Project 2024, Project 2025, sorry, Project 2025. And that's what the JD Vance meetings were about in Montana. Okay, it's like that whole, under that whole umbrella of how do we get rid of Trump. And so remember, we're rooting for the leopards in this. And that, yeah, it's so, there's so many layers to this. And so I'm trying to kind of break that down into like the easiest summary possible. So what's going to, that's what JD Vance was doing in Montana. Not to dissuade, but to persuade, to make sure that, Murdoch's still on track, that Murdoch is still in Peter Thiel's corner. And let me just ask that. Is Wall Street Journal and Murdoch still on, team Project 2025? That'll give us some insight there too. Okay. Is Wall Street Journal, Murdoch's still on the side of Peter Thiel, Project 2025, whatever it is that we want to call that group of, that's wanting to, tech bros, whatever it is you want to call that. Are they still on that to push that forward? Yes. Okay. The challenge is keeping Murdoch on. If I see this as Rupert Murdoch, he is keenly aware of how this could bite him in the ass, okay? So that's the heart there. So right now, while he is still on board, just know that Rupert Murdoch is I get the feeling that he really doesn't like Trump, so he's using Project 2025 to get rid of Trump. Project 2025 wants to install JD Vance. Therefore, they know Rupert Murdoch doesn't like Trump, and so the enemy of my enemy is my friend. That's this feeling that I'm getting with this. They're all horrible people. They are loyal to only themselves, but they will use each other, knowing that they're using each other to get what they want. And so for Murdoch, it's like, yeah, this benefits me too. Okay. But I don't know that his loyalty is going to go as far as protecting Project 2025. Right now, the all-encompassing energy in this situation is Trump, the malignant narcissist who sucks the oxygen out of a room. And I always say with malignant narcissists, they could take your very last dying breath and demand more. It's like, why can't you give me more? It's like, I gave you my last dying breath and it's not going to be enough. Okay. So that's, just this whole of nothing is ever enough. And they're just, I think everybody in the, like that upper echelons there are like, they are done with Trump. And they want him gone, and they are going to rejoice. So that is going to be like that common moment, is that the rejoicing that happens when he's no longer in the Oval Office, the work that they've done to take him down, and the potential is, oh, but wait, there's more to be seen. Okay, so yes, they are still on that, but will they stay loyal to Project 2025? After the demise of Trump? Disappointment. They know. It's almost like the Wall Street Journal knows that there's more to come. I'm curious about like that election interference fraud case in Rockland County, New York. If they won't, yeah, they I think that whenever that case starts picking up, we're going to see kind of like shifts in allegiance. Yeah, this is a moment that they can both agree on, but I don't see that. I don't see their commitment going any further than getting Trump out of office. And yeah, there's more. Yeah, I just don't see that. I think right now they're all focused on getting Trump out. The Murdochs know that there's more that they could actually use even to get rid of Project 2025, and that their loyalty is only to themselves. Okay. Will they support Vance? And I'm just going to do 3 cards. Will they support Vance? I get the feeling they're telling him that now, but will they, when all this goes down, are they still going to support Vance? This was the plan, plans for the future, and shedding a light into this. I think that this tells me, because this is like shining a light into the darkness, telling the truth. When that starts coming out, it wouldn't surprise me for them to start. They're going to be on Team Vance for quite a while. Okay, it's only going to be whenever it's obvious that this is an administration that was there by their own fraud. That I think that's when you're going to get a shift from the Wall Street Journal and the Murdochs. Okay, with that. So yeah, that's what I'm getting today. That the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So they are JD Vance. It appears for entertainment purposes only that he went to Montana to persuade the Murdochs to, yes, go through with that. It's almost like this feeling too of like wanting to, like they're just going over the plan that they like, okay, so let's release this first and then we'll release this and then this is what we're going to do and this is what we're going to do. And like, it's that kind of meeting that took place that Rupert Murdoch is using Project 2025 and Project 2025 is using Rupert Murdoch, go Leopards. We're on the team of the Leopards. Just remember that. Because it's really hard to watch this stuff and go, like, I don't want to cheer for Rupert Murdoch. Oh, you're not. You're rooting for the Leopards. Remember, the Leopards, whoever the Leopards are utilizing in that moment to achieve, getting rid of Trump and the downfall of MAGA, we welcome that. And so, go Leopards. Thank you very much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. Like, subscribe. I'll put another reading up here. I'll probably put some of those other readings that this almost was a 3-part reading with, let me look here at my notes, is MAGA waking up to the lies of Trump, the Wall Street Journal, that all of the Wall Street Journal stuff, that lawsuit and everything, and then also now this one with JD Vance. So those all, and just so you know, I did record all 3 of these like back to back to back. So I was kind of in that energy for the entirety of those readings. So yeah, I will put both of those up there for you to check back on. So thank you very much, and I will catch you on the next reading. Have a good day.